Hello, this is Rob from Rins Models. This is my 4th update of this beautiful kit by Ryefield, the Jagdpanther G2. So we start, like I say, big thank you to all my subscribers. All your comments, really do appreciate it. Okay, so in this update we carry on the construction of the interior. We're working on the transmission here. A lot of parts on this. This is a little kit on its own, and as you'll see at the end, it's so detailed. The good thing is it's all the same colour, so you can glue it all together. The only thing that's different is the radio set that's on there, but that's easy enough to mask off. I'll glue it all together and then paint it in position. A few ejector pin marks to take care of, but nothing major. As always, as I always do, any build, dry fit, make sure everything fits okay. You only got to leave a bit of flash or something, and it stops your fit. Okay, also, another tip I could give you, I do this a lot, is before you cut your parts off, if they look pretty much the same, just write the numbers on. Write it where it's not going to be seen, so when you cut it off, then you're not going to get mixed up. All I'm using as well is just the MIG, the extra thin, very nice glue. When this is all done, there is a little bit of a seam line to take care of, so what I like to do is just squash the two parts together, just so the glue oozes out, and then when you sand it, then you'll have no join, then you can't see the join. As you see, I don't show every part being fitted as well, because there's just that many little parts on it. Okay, so really nice. These will only fit one way, so you can't get them the wrong way around. All you got to do is just make sure, because the sprue gates are actually on the bit where the glue together, so all to do is sharp knife, cut it off, and then just give it a light sand, and you're good to go. Now these are saying paint it a different colour, but to be honest with you, once it's all together, you can't really see that much. You got a little tab on here, a little pin, and a tab like to help you line it up right. Just make sure you get the right side, because they are two different sorts. Okay, again, you got a square hole as well, just to help you get it right. So you're looking at the back there, and that's where the tweezers are, that's the bottom, so you're looking at the bottom there. Okay, so we're still gluing all the detail on, and there's a little bits of photo etch to do on here. You got some decals as well. So it's a really nice little sub-assembly when it's done. And all I do, just to make it easy to paint, just drill a hole in the bottom where it's not going to be seen, push a cocktail stick in there and you can hold it, then you can paint away, not worrying about leaving fingerprints or anything. You can see how small the parts are. Alright, I need to get a new pair of tweezers because they're not quite closing right and I'm struggling to pick the pieces up. So I have got some on order. Well, we got a couple of little holes as well just to help locate it. Okay, so all this is now, just make sure this is facing up. If you're unsure, you can't figure out why it works, how it fits. Sometimes if you go forward through the instructions, you'll see a picture of it fitted, and that'll give you an idea then how it actually fits. Right, now this I'm fitting now is where the radio goes. There's a radio, and then there's also another part with dials on. So there's a little sequence to do it. So, couple of little holes, couple of pins. You got a bit of detail on it, so just make sure you got it the right way. It'll only fit one way anyway, but it's always best just to make sure. Right. So all I'm doing now, still working on your transmission. If you're actually building this kit, or you're going to get it, you'll be absolutely amazed at the detail. This one I'm doing now, this little assembly I'm doing now, it's actually there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 steps to complete this. So that's one of the control panels. That will be painted black. That's pretty easy to mask off. I like to try and fit as much together as I possibly can before I paint. Here's your radio now. That's supposed to be angled. It's slightly dipping down, so I don't think it's got to be straight. And when that's dry, I paint that. You can get a little dry brush. Now, really makes the detail pop. That first panel I fitted, you've got a couple of decals on that as well. They're just a couple of little dials. Okay, so you see, really nice. And we're still not finished yet. Still more to do. Also, when you're handling it, just gently, just think about where all the little parts are, because you can easily knock them off or snap them off, like I've done there. So all I'm doing, I'm just putting it back straight, especially with the glue still being wet. you can knock it out of place pretty easy. Okay, so now we fit in one of the control levers. A little bit of a seam line on them. Where get your knife, a couple of swipes with your knife, they're gone. And do then, if ever I do any sanding and I got bits of dust on there and that, just get your extra fin and just get your fin and just rub it over the actual dust, and it'll get rid of it then for you. But before I start spraying, I always give the parts a quick blast with the airbrush, just so the air comes out, no paint, and it just helps clean the, just gets rid of the rest of the dust and that. So these parts I'm fitting now, actually these will glue to the lower hull. When you got it in position, you'll just run your glue around that. And what I'll do when I've painted it, where it meets, I'll just rub it, sandpaper it with my sanding stick, and then just take a little bit of the paint off the lower hull. So when you glue it, then you got plastic to plastic then. Okay. This here, everything I'm fitting here is only on one side, and you haven't got no detail on the other side. Well, as you can see, it's really nice. Another little part, this part here, you gotta make sure you glue this at the right angle, because there's a bar then that goes from that to the front. So it's best to try and fit it, the other piece, while it's still wet, so you can manoeuvre it a little bit. That was a little fiddly assembly. It's straightforward. There was no major issues. There's actually 6 parts on that little assembly. You've got seam lines, ejector pin marks to take care of. Okay, so right, so that's that assembly finished. Apart from the little parts and the photo etch, that's pretty much it finished. Right, and we're making a start now on these are the actual racks for the shelves. I like to fit these. I could have painted them first and then fit them, but I just felt it was easier doing it now. It's all the off-white. And before I cut them off, just numbered them so you know which is which. Now most of that there is going to be covered up, so don't worry about if there's any ejector pin marks, because the way they've put them you can't see. Okay, so I paint all the shelves separate, and then you can just push them in. Then they've all got decals on as well. I think it's 48 shells you got to do all together. So you've got a bit of work there, and also you've got 2 seam lines on each one which you've got to take care of. And then when you cut the shells off on the ends, you've got to sand the sprue gate off. Okay, so we're just doing the other side now, exactly the same. they'll only fit one way. All you got to do is just make sure you get them in the right order. You could cut one off at a time and install them that way. You know, as you cut one off, fit it. As long as you just put a little number on, so you know. Also, on your actual shells when you've done them, on each one there's 4 decals on each one as well. So you got quite a lot of work there. You got 2 sorts as well. There's 2 different types. Now they don't fit flush to the actual size. There is a little bit of a gap. You can just make that out. So don't think they're not fitted right, because that's how they go. Right now, we're working on these parts now, and all they just go over the top of the racks you've just fitted. They'll fit over the top of that. So you'll fit your shells first, and then you'll fit these after. So all I do, I'll just paint them first, and then I'll fit them after. There are parts to glue as well on top of this, but I shall paint them separate because they are different colours. And all you do, you can just see, you just push them in like that. Now you've got a bit of the rack sticking out at the top. Now it's best to paint these before you fit them as well, because you've got a lot of parts to glue on the inside, on the lower hull, and with them fitted you can't do it. I tried to, but you couldn't. That part there is just, it's got 3 little look like electric boxes on, and then you've got a couple of other little parts. I do fit them before I paint it, because it's easy enough to mask off and paint them in situ. Okay, so we're working on the other side now. On this piece we're doing here, you've got 2 lots of photo etch as well. You've got a bit of bending to do. So it does help to have a photo etch bending tool if you've got one. Well, if not, you can manage without one. But if you've got one, it does make life so much easier. Right, again, just keep test fitting. When it's all dry, a quick sand down, you'll have no joins. You can't see nothing. No seam lines. Bit of some ejector pin marks as well to take care of. Well, that's nothing major. There are as well on this piece I'm fitting now. There's some underneath there, but you're not going to see them once they're all in position. You can't see them, so don't worry too much about them. It's just the ones on the side pieces. If you're unsure about what you're actually going to see, what ejector pin marks you're going to see, just dry fit all your little assemblies together, and that'll tell you then. Okay, so I just square it up while it's still, just to leave it to set for a little bit, and then while the glue's still dry you can fit it where it's got to go, and then that way then I'll leave it in overnight then, and it dries in the right position. Okay, so I'm just fitting the photo etch now. You have to do 4 bends with this. You got little holes as well, so you know where to put your glue. All you got to just make sure that the bends are facing down. You got a little piece to bend on the end of that as well. Again, the bend should be facing down. A little bit fiddly. Get yourself some decent super glue. You've had no problems. I've got the accelerator as well, just to help it along. Okay, so that you need to get yourself some primer as well, metal primer. But I use the Mr. Hobby metal primer. It's fine, it works fine. I've had no problems. Right, now this now is another assembly on its own. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plastic parts, and then 3 photo etch parts to fit on this, and this fits across the middle. Okay, so again, it'll only go on one way. Right, now we've jumped forward a few steps here, because I don't like to glue too many parts on if I can, especially with clamping it all together and that, because you've got a chance of breaking parts off. So we've shot straight forward now, and we're working on the back now. You've got 2 different sorts here. Really nice fit. There is a seam line, but you're not going to see it because this will be underneath, so this will be on the bottom you're gluing now. So once it's on, you're not going to see it. Ejector pin marks again, but they're going to be covered up. There's 3 little holes. Just put your glue in. So all you're doing is just making sure I got it the right way up. So as I said, that's you're looking at the bottom there. That's got like a half a moon shape, so that will only fit one way. All you gotta do is just make sure, because there's 2 different sorts, just make sure you cut your right one off, and you shouldn't have no problems then. A lot of this pipe work as well, you're not, once the engine's in, you're not going to see it. It's all the same colour, it's all the red oxide, which I'm actually using. I'm using the MIG ammo, is it 014. Right, so we're on the other side now. It's exactly the same assembly, it's just a different side. Again, you need to fit these parts first before you glue this to the side piece then, because once it's together you'll struggle to get them on. So fit that piece first, then glue it to this. See, really nice fit. Just all them ejector pin marks that were there, they're covered up now. You got some where my thumb is, but again, once the fans are on there, they're gone. On the inside, where the engine bit goes, there's none there at all. So when you look in, you can't see no ejector pin marks. All I'm doing there, just gluing the pipe on, and then I'll fit these while the glue's still a bit wet, and then I can position it in the right place. And make sure as well you've got it facing the right way, because you can get it the wrong way. Right, so this is the in bulkhead. Now it tells you in the instructions to fit this first and then fit the two pieces you just done to it, but I just found it easier to glue it all together first and then fit it as one assembly. It's just easier. I think it's just easier. And then the back side where we're working now, that'll be your red oxide, and then the front piece will be the off-white. Make sure I'll use plenty of glue just to make sure. You don't want these coming apart. You can glue the bulkhead first and then fit these. It's entirely up to you, but I just found it easier to do it now. But I'll let it dry just for a few minutes, fit it, and then square it up, leave it overnight then, and when you take it apart then it'll all be in the right position. Well, it is a little bit out of square, but once it's, like I said, once it's together, so that's just probably about 10 minutes I'd say. Just let it cure just for a little bit. And you've just got to put it on a slight bit of an angle just to help with the fit, because you got to remember when you painted everything, it does make it a little bit tighter because they're really tight tolerances. So another thing you can do is, before you fit it, is just scrape the paint off the edges. Again, that will just help with the fit. Well, I know that's all painted, but I'll do an update. I'll talk you through what I've done there, what I've used. There's no weathering being done yet on that, where you can see beautiful fit. Now that's dried overnight, and all I'm doing now, there's a few little parts to fit to the bulkhead. You've got two doors, there's a few other little bits and bobs to fit. You've actually got a fire extinguisher as well. Now that'll be painted red, but I can mask that off easily enough. But don't be afraid to fit your pieces. you'll probably find that, you know, even though they're a different colour, just think, you know, can I mask it off? Well, you know, what could I do to make it easier? Because to paint that not fitted would be quite fiddly, because it's such a small piece. You got to think how you're going to hold it as well. Lots of little pieces. All these holes are all already drilled out. You don't need to drill no holes. In fact, I don't think I've drilled any holes so far. They're all done for you. Right, now we're working on the fuel tanks now. There's two different sorts. All I do, just put a little number on so I know which is which. So I've gone through a few steps there. We've gone past the engine and the radiators. Just gone forward a little bit. Yeah, you don't have to follow the instructions. You can go in any order you want. Right, so we're back to these pieces now. Now, these are these three little panels, that these little fuse box things I was on about. You got three of them. So the main colour will be the off-white, and then these will be like, I think, the grey. Because they're really close together, you only need to mask around the edges. Now it's got here holes drilled there, but there's actually no locating pins on there, so I don't think I'll cut them off. So I'll just get them as near as I can. You got two different sorts. You got two of these, and then there's one other one. And I'm just check the drawing, just make sure we're the right way. Okay, so that's update 4 finished. Hope what you like. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, please hit the subscribe button. I would really be grateful. Thank you.